Good evening, YouTubers. Dave here from Funky Sloth Comic and Collectibles, and today is Sunday, February 21st, 2021. Being it's a Sunday, it is going to be my movie TV talk video for the day. I got three pretty good subjects today to talk about. But before I get going, as usual, here we are. It's Sunday here in Vermont, and it is absolutely gorgeous outside. Sun shining, about 28, 29 degrees. We need this starting to settle some of the snow. The sun starting to settle it, which is good. But it's about time. It was starting to get a little old. Whoop, sorry about that. Knocked over my seltzer, but luckily the cap was on. So here we go. Today's first topic for movie TV talk will be the Mortal Kombat trailer. I'm not a huge gamer at all. I mean, I used to play my fair share of games back in the day, but back in the day, when I say back in the day, I mean the old stand-up arcade games at the Village Pizza here in Ludlow, Vermont. You know, with Defender, Space Invaders, Asteroids, Pac-Man, Galaga, Donkey Kong, those. And then I played a few Xbox and stuff, but I'm not a huge gamer by any means. But I probably played the original Mortal Kombat maybe a couple dozen times, 3 dozen at that. But I know the backstory of the game, and I have to say, this trailer, this trailer rocked. It was good. I love martial art movies anyways, dating all the way back to the original Seven Samurai, which is one of the greatest movies to ever be made. And if you haven't seen that, you really should watch Seven Samurai. Also, the miniseries Shogun. Both great Japanese-based martial arts, samurai, shoguns, you name it. Two great things. One great TV show and one great movie. So, the trailer introduced the main characters, and the CGI looks really good. They ended up casting Tadanobu Sato as Lord Raiden. He is one of my favorite Asian actors, along with the other guy that they just cast for this, Louis Singleton, I believe is how you say his last name, as Cole Young. And then the other great Asian actor that they cast for this is Hiroyuki Sanada as Scorpion. If you remember him, he is actually Ojo in the fantastic movie Last Samurai. And he's actually going to be playing Scorpion, who is one of my favorite characters in that, the story of the Mortal Kombat in the game. He was awesome. And the movie's going to be released on HBO Max on April 16th, 2021. Again, on HBO Max. And this trailer, I was like, yeah, when it comes out, I'll watch it. This trailer really got me wanting to see this movie. It looks good. Leave your comments if you're interested in seeing this movie or not. If you were a fan of the game, like I said, I probably played it a couple dozen, 3 dozen times with my son back in the day when he had it on the original Mortal Kombat. I think it was on, I don't remember what it was on, Sony, PlayStation, or Nintendo, one of those two. I don't remember which, but he had it, and it was okay. But this trailer was good. The graphics and the CGI, it looks really good. So I'm going to be interested in seeing this movie when it comes out on HBO Max there. So topic number 2. HBO again. HBO is the one right now for when it comes to superhero, fantasy, that sort of stuff. HBO Max is landing it. Being they own, they're in with everybody. They got the money. But it looks like HBO Max is working with J.J. Abrams on a reboot of a classic DC character from 1985, John Constantine. I love the whole John Constantine character, who was first introduced in the saga of Swamp Thing, number 37 from June of 85. I have that book somewhere. Good book, good read. But John Constantine's a really good character. He was he first appeared in the movies in Keanu Reeves' version of Constantine from, 2005? I think 5. The movie was okay. Well, and it has some pretty cool supernatural element parts of it, but it didn't really follow the comics at all. And then we got to see John Constantine twice on TV, played by the same guy, Matt Ryan, where he played it in the short-lived TV series Constantine, which was actually really good, but short-lived, wasn't promoted right, so it didn't get the views. And then it was on Arrowverse Legends of Tomorrow. I'm not an Arrowverse fan, so I didn't watch any of that. You really need to think of John Constantine as a chain smoking, dark noir detective fiction mixed with the dark occult fantasy world. And if it's done right, like DC is done with their dark universe, that stuff is good. So I'm hoping they do that. I know it was the New 52 run, I think it is, with DC, where they did the DC Dark. It's really good. Um, they I hope they run closer to the comic character and stay away from this reimagining, which in my opinion is ruining stuff. And you know my opinion on what they want to do with the reimagining of Wizard of Oz. There is one rumor out there of an actor that is possibly linked to the role, and that's Charlie Hunnam. He's from the Son of Anarchy fame. He did good he was good in the Son of Anarchy. I just have not enjoyed him in his movies. Um, so I hope they don't pick him. And another rumor that's going around, but again, here we go with the reimagining of this stuff. They want to do what's the group called now? BIPOC, whatever it's called. If you're not familiar, this means Black, Indigenous, and people of color. They want to cast somebody from that group, whatever, to play John Constantine. Well, John Constantine makes no sense because John Constantine is as white can get. I don't care about any of that crap, black, white, purple, green, all that crap that these people are trying to ruin stuff with nowadays. But John Constantine is as white as the snow that we have out here in Vermont. So see, they're going to reimagine it and they're going to do something else and they're going to ruin it. But the way things are going nowadays, nobody's going to stand up and say anything to anybody because you'll be called some names and whatever. But yeah, so J.J. Abrams, the reboot of John Constantine, HBO Max. There is no time frame, I guess, on the release. I looked it up today, and I mean, here we are, February going on March of 2021. So I don't think you'll probably see anything from this late 2022, maybe. If they do it, TV series can come out quicker than movies, but I bet you don't see it until mid to late 2022. So that leaves us with my final topic today. This is going to be kind of a short video today for my TV talk stuff. But, every week I've talked about it. WandaVision. WandaVision Episode 7, Breaking the Fourth Wall. I mean, we're definitely set in the 2000s on this episode. It's definitely in the make of The Office and Arrested Development, that sort of stuff. This was good. Each episode's gotten better. This one was good. I mean, we start off with the show. The kids are waking up Wanda in bed, and she's still dressed in her Halloween outfit. Vision's nowhere to be found. And if you know from my last video, you'll know why. But he's all right. But he's nowhere to be found. She's still dressed in her Halloween costume, and she's absolutely exhausted. She's exhausted from making her reality realm that much bigger. I mean, she expanded it by 8 miles in that last episode. So she's absolutely exhausted. And the youngest boy saying, his head is noisy with stuff that's going on. So some people are thinking that because he's saying that, he might be Charles Xavier in her world. I don't see that. I don't see them doing that with that character. I think you might still see him, but not with the kid. So anyways, she wakes up. Things are going haywire. She's downstairs. Furniture's moving around. Things are changing. So you can see that she's not in total control of everything right now. There's something else playing against her. So, I mean, you got, and then, and then the stork shows up, which is kind of weird because right when the stork shows up, she goes over and grabs some milk. It was in a glass bottle, and then it changed to the old wax carton ones. And on the back, it shows a missing kid, and that was big for later on in the show. So we then go to Vision. He's walking towards the circus scene that was set up when Wanda expanded the force field. So when she expanded the force field, it took over Sword's area. And it's funny because they all, everybody that was there were turned into clowns in a circus show. And it's kind of funny because in this day and age, a lot of people are thinking government is a circus show full of clowns. I don't care what side you belong to, Democrats or Republicans, but they're both clown shows. They're clowns on the highest level. And the people keep following them just like sheep. And it's just funny. They do. They're all clowns in the episode. So I'm not sure if that was Marvel doing that on purpose or maybe just a subtle little, this is what government agencies are like. Well, and then we see Darcy. Remember, she got caught when it was expanded and she was handcuffed. Well, you see Darcy, she's in a circus outfit and she's actually chained up to what was the Humvee, which is now some sort of circus truck. So Vision goes over and starts talking to her, and Darcy has no clue who he is until he touches the forehead, and then she's like, they start talking. Yeah, I know who you are. Blah 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 blah. And so they agree to help each other. So they start heading back towards Wanda. They stole a truck, knocked out one of the guys that was one of the head sword agents. Darcy's punched him, knocked him down. So they get in the truck and they start taking off. We then see Monica and Jimmy pulling into an encampment, which is Sword, but I believe it's like some rogue sword agents. And I heard this, and I don't know. Some people are thinking these rogue agents might actually be Skrulls. I don't know. I don't think they'll go that way. But hey, they've proven me wrong on a couple other things so far. But so, and that was the engineer that she kept saying she was going to meet up with. So they give Monica this like NASA style moon rover to push through the force field. Well, it doesn't work. Matter of fact, she has to get out of it. It's being changed into a different form. They throw it out. It's got the back end of the modern moon rover and the front end of a probably maybe a 2000s early minivan style front end. They let angle with a square. So it gets thrown out, and she's like, I have to get in there. So she goes through, physically starts going through the wall. And when she's going through the wall, you hear Nick Fury, you hear her mother, and you actually hear Carol Danvers, which is Captain Marvel. You hear them in the background talking. And as she's going through this, things are starting to change. If you remember, her cells are already been rewritten twice now. And Darcy warned her of that. Well, she finally breaks through the other side, and lo and behold, who does she become? Because she's got the glowing eyes. She becomes her character in the comics, which is Photon, but they haven't mentioned her by name, but that's who she is. She becomes Photon, who is extremely powerful. She's right up there with Captain Marvel power. So she comes through and she's looking and she sees all the radioactive spectrums in the sky. But then she shakes her head, her eyes go back to, normal human eyes. We go back to Wanda and she's very tired, agitated because things are not going well. Things are still changing. And guess who shows up? Agnes, who always seems to show up at these type of moments. And she says, hey, do you want me to watch the children so you can relax, blah, blah, blah. And she says, yes. So Agnes takes them to the house. So meanwhile, we go back and we have Darcy and Vision trying to make their way to Wanda's house, and things are happening to slow them down. There's a stoplight out in the middle of nowhere, It just keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. They get ready to go. A cable truck pulls up, and not cable, a stoplight repair truck. They get ready to go again, and then school children. So somebody's playing the game to slow them down. And during this, they do little flashbacks where Vision's sitting on a chair doing an interview. And just he's funny. Paul Bettany is awesome as Vision. He is awesome. Matter of fact, he just lives. He has a house about 10, 15 miles over the hill from me. So we go back to Monica, and she finally meets Wanda at Wanda's house, and Wanda is pissed that she's made it back. She is not a happy camper. And she tries to send her away again by using the powers, and she's being slowed down. Then she's like, screw it. And she tries to slam her to the ground while she's being held up in the air. Well, when she does that, Monica had nothing to do with that. She uses her power and cushions the blow. You see the electric field around her. And that's when you see, guess who? Agnes come out and start getting on Monica's case, saying this is bad, and she tells Wanda, "Hey, come over to my house. Let's just relax for the rest of the day." And when Wanda arrives at Agnes's house, she asks where the boys are at, and Agnes, kind of in a weird tone, says, "They must be playing in the basement." So this is where I'm like, oh, something's coming. Something's coming. Well, she goes down to the basement, and it's just dark. And right from the beginning, you could tell this is some sort of like haunted house atmosphere. And she's starting to go, and then the aspect changes. You go from like a TV aspect that you would be watching. Oh, and by the way, nobody can watch this show from out in the real world anymore because the TV feed has been shut off. So she's going down through, and the aspect changes to like real life. This is what's going on right now for Wanda. She's going through some of these stone hallways, and there's roots and trees growing, and it's purple. Big thing right there. And she walks into this one room, and you see all this weird witchcraft, sorceress type stuff. And over in the corner, you see one of the books, which looks like one of the books from I'm having a brain cramp, but from Doctor Strange in the library. Well, she starts to go towards that book. Here comes Agnes. Pops up, and she goes, "Guess what?" And like I said, go back a bit. So she's there. Agnes comes out, holding the rabbit, petting the rabbit. And she goes, "Hi, I'm Agatha Harkness, and I'm glad to meet you." Which I knew from the beginning she would end up being Agatha. And Agatha's a witch in the Marvel Universe who can be good and bad. But in this one, she's definitely not being nice. And as she's talking to Wanda, all of a sudden you start seeing the purple on her hand, and you see Wanda's eyes and stuff turn purple. She's trying to cast a spell on her. And what's funny is, as she says, "Hi, I'm Agatha Harkness," and they do that little bit. Then they go into this like whole TV intro of Agatha to the Munsters theme song. If you don't remember, dun 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 dun. So it's that, and they're showing Agatha at all these all these issues that have come up in the show, weird issues, that she is actually the driving force behind those problems that have come up. And she's the problem, and she's who brought Pietro back. They actually show her snapping her fingers, and so she is definitely the villain as of right now. How bad a villain is Mephisto still coming in or not? So it goes to the end of the show, and then we get to a middle credit show, and you see Monica walking up, checking Agatha's house. She goes back around the house. She grabs to open up the bulkhead, and she sees the purple in the basement. Before she can do anything, Pietro shows up and says, "Snoopers are going to snoop." Show over. So it's I knew she would be Agatha, and I'm just wondering how they're going to bring Mephisto in, if they're going to. There's a couple things there in the show that I saw that could have been Mephisto type of stuff, but I'm waiting to see who they're going to bring in for like an ally. They keep saying it that there's going to be a shocker. I don't know. We got 2 episodes left. If you guys have watched this show, let me know. What do you think of it? I mean, first couple episodes, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but these last 5 episodes have been absolutely great TV. I mean, Marvel's hitting it out of the park on this. And then starting next month, I think 17th, we got Falcon and Snowman. That trailer dropped. I'll have a review on that next week, but that trailer was good. So Marvel, even though they're not doing the movies right now because everything's going on with COVID, their TV shows have been phenomenal. So yeah, let me know. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Share the video. Let me know what you think. Again, I like doing these, and I'm going to keep doing them until I'm told I can't do them. So I hope you guys are all staying safe, doing well. You know, it's one day close to spring, and I think I'm hoping that we see the light at the end of the tunnel on all this other crap. Because I need to get to the movies. I need to go on vacation. I need to put my feet in the ocean at the beach in Maine and in Gunquit. I need to get there. All right, guys. You guys all take it easy. Stay safe. Have a great night. Oh, and remember, watch what you want to watch and enjoy it. All right. Have a good night.